Hey everyone, welcome back to Legally Teaching and Engineer Sports. Today will be Thursday, February 13th, and tonight's episode 123. Gentlemen, start your
Amen. I, I
we're
don't
going
know.
we're, we're going down to Daytona, Max.
Yeah, I mean, some people would say this is like the kickoff of springtime, I guess you could say. Maybe this is what gets people going. NASCAR's back, baby. It's back.
It's broken to Southern accents. I don't even know if that's Southern. Um, well, welcome back to Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. We're excited to preview the NASCAR season, I suppose, while also looking at the Daytona 500, which is this Sunday, February 16th on Fox. Before we get to that, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Happy birthday, Max! Woo! Max turns 27 on Saturday, February 15th. So make sure everyone reaches out and says, Happy birthday to Max.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. He's not going to play happy birthday to himself, but make sure you shoot him a happy birthday text or send him a happy birthday pic, whatever you see fit. And also, we would be remiss to say the day before, Max. What's that?
Valentine's Day, so get those flowers, get that chocolate, give a hug to your significant other.
Get those engagement rings. Ooh la la. And the final elephant in the room. Yes, there is no Sam. Sam was so sick he could not talk, supposedly.
He tried all week to learn sign language, but he just couldn't figure it out tonight. So he decided to lay low and get better. So shout out to Sam, get better.
No shout out to Sam. We need 100. We needed 100%. I think we only got 25% from Sam. Um, no shout out to Sam. No PTO days here. Sam's not getting paid for this. No sick time, no PTO, no ESTA for Sam. ESTA is a new Michigan law, or you get sick time. So if you're an attorney and you work for employment law, you know about ESTA. Sam, you get no ESTA. With that, what are we doing tonight, Max?
We're gonna start off with our woo off. We're gonna go to the round table. We'll slip in a Serenity now, and then we're gonna welcome on two guests that are gonna present us knowledge on the NASCAR circuit. I am honored to have them on to talk about turning left, baby.
That's right. The Rothenbuehler brothers are gonna hop on and talk race car. All right, let's get it going. Episode 123. Gentlemen, store your
God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
All right.
that fires me up.
And
Woo!
that's a good song for all things. I mean, I kind of plugged it in for NASCAR, but it's a good song for anything. That would get you going.
That gets the people going. Speaking about getting people going, Max, talk to me nicely. Give me some nicey talk about the Michigan Wolverines. It's the Woo opposite my line new. It gets
So I'm gonna roll right into it. Dylan gave a great intro. The Michigan Wolverines are sitting in the first place of the Big Ten Conference. As this podcast is being aired, they will hold that grip tightly throughout the next week. It's gonna be awesome. But my woo moment more specifically is last night at Chrysler. It was a packed house. Michigan upset the number 17 in the nation, Purdue Boilermakers. As Purdue was walking off the floor, Michigan was dancing with the student section. The Michigan DJ, I'm going to call him a DJ. I don't know who's playing music. Michigan DJ plays the Purdue fight song. Their Alma thingy, the Sandstorm. They started playing it. Not many people probably picked up on it, but ultimate trolling, Michigan basketball, first in the Big Ten.
Woo! Yeah. 9-6. Well done, Max. Well done. Michigan goes to Ohio State this weekend. A prelude to the Daytona 500. Big game. And then they host the best team in the Big Ten, the greatest coach in all of Big Ten history, the greatest team in probably all of the nation, the Michigan State Spartans. They come to Chrysler. Looking forward to that. All right, my turn for the woo-wah presented by Lonnie New. Woo! Gets the people going. I'm going to shout out to a little Michigan-y kind of one as well. The greatest quarterback to ever play football at the University of Michigan for now. Right, Bryce? Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. That legacy has been cemented. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs for absolutely laying an egg in this year's Super Bowl. Tom Brady will forever and always be the greatest of all time. Tom Brady.
I'm going to give you 9-5. Just so I can slip ahead. Biased. A little biased.
I like it. With that, let's shoot right to the story now, presented by Detroit Tigers and Illich Company. Shout out to Illich Company, a great place to work.
So
more to come later. This week's story now is the Kendrick Lamar explainers and argumenteers. I'm wearing my A minor hat just to present this point. Starting freaking now. If you feel the need to go onto Facebook and explain the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance, starting freaking out, you're probably a douchebag. If you have the need to fight with someone who feels the need to explain the halftime performance, you're probably a fuckhead. Starting freaking out, just stop. It was a well done performance, I think, by Kendrick Lamar. He did his Kendrick stuff. He's a very good rapper, artist. If people didn't like it, people didn't like it. Who cares? Move on. Starting freaking out. A minor.
Let's just roll right into that one. Getting into our round table. Thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, one of the worst ever.
I would agree too. You could have turned it off after what? The third minute, maybe. Phillies kick a field goal. Maybe scored a touchdown. I don't know. They dominated the whole game. One thing I was really wishing for was a close game. Yeah, didn't get that. So that Super Bowl can just be thrown away. Who cares?
Yep. I would say keep the Mountain Dew Baja Blast commercial with Seal. And then otherwise toss it all away.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tom Brady and his $600,000 or $800,000 watch.
I would say there's a couple good commercials. I did like the Seal, Mountain Dew. Obviously, the Bud Light one was up there. Dunkin' Donuts from the rafters, I should say, right after kickoff with Bill Belichick and his 26-year-old wife or girlfriend. Good stuff there by Dunkin' Donuts. And then if you have the app on your phone, as soon as that aired, they launched the promotion. It was something about like get your Dunkin' sweats and head over to Dunkin' for something. So shout out to them.
Love that. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about the Super Bowl. Congrats to the Eagles. Fucking scumbags. Jalen Hurts was MVP. Not really surprising. Saquon didn't do much. He took him there, but the Chiefs literally apparently only game plan to stop Saquon and let everything else happen. Shout out to them for being just pathetic bitch boys. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about the Super Bowl. Odds are out for next year. I think the Lions have like the 5th or 6th best odds to win the Super Bowl. Third? I won't give you third. They don't have third.
I thought Philly, Kansas City, maybe 4th. Kansas City, Buffalo, Detroit.
I think Ravens are ahead of Detroit too. But regardless, Detroit, like people are kind of comparing them to Philly of last year, so they got bounced in the first round of their playoffs. And went on a run. So maybe Detroit figures it out. They got to sign some dogs, maybe some Cooper Kupps, maybe another edge rusher, Myles Garrett. What's up? I don't know, something like that. Yep. But any final thoughts on the NFL season, Max?
No, I mean, it was what it was. It is what it is. Like you said, just same old Detroit Lions fashion fan. There's always next year, baby. So
that's right. And shout out to Sam. He was our ultimate loser, so he will pay the toll. He'll have to buy a hat, and he will be doing a hot wing punishment on air soon to come.
Well,
so congrats, Sam. All right, Max, explain to me whatever this hockey thing we've got going on.
Yeah, so the Four Nations Cup tournament drops tonight. This is we're doing this on Wednesday. So Canada plays tonight against Sweden. US will play tomorrow, Thursday, against Finland. So it's basically the All-Star break for the NHL. Extended long period of time for the players not participating in this tournament. And it's being played in Quebec, and it's being played in Boston. So I don't know what else you want to say.
So is this like round robin, winner take all? What do we got going on?
Round robin, winner take all. Everybody plays everybody, so they're going to play 3 games, and then that's basically it. So nothing crazy.
But what if, what if, what if, what if there's a tie?
So I don't think there is going to be a tie because I think they'll go to overtime, and then they'll get a shootout. Though we'll have.
No. What if there's a tie in points and like the head-to-head stuff? So like if USA beats Canada but loses to Sweden, but Sweden beats Canada or loses to Canada, beats US, you know what I'm trying to say? Like
I do know what you're trying to say, and there is a championship game, so I will let you know there is a championship game. I gave it a Google. So Thursday, February 20th. And then I'd assume that's just going to come down to like goals against and things like that. So
top 2 teams get to go to that.
Yeah.
All right, cool deal. That's kind of like the thing that the cup that went to Saginaw. What's that called?
The Memorial Cup for the Late Show.
That's what it's like. It's kind of based off that essentially.
Yeah. Exactly. And then shout out to Luke Strayman and Dylan Larkin playing for their respective countries. So that's pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to the Red Wings. That's all I have to say about them. About the Pistons, though, do you know anything fun about the Pistons?
All right. A couple fun facts. Malik Beasley is now the new franchise record holder for threes made in a season, which is crazy to think because he has done this before the All-Star break with, I think, 30 games to go. If not more.
Yeah.
So he's going to hit an astronomical amount of threes. I mean, that's kind of why he's here. He goes to the corner, knocks down threes, and does a shimmy. So shout out to him for being a dog. I'm glad they didn't get rid of him. I thought his name would have been on the block for the trade, so I'm glad he's around.
And then what's your second fact?
My second fact is that they were up by 42 points at half last night against Chicago, and that was another franchise record. I do not know what they won by, but they were up 42 at half. It was like 71-20 or something.
I think they got into the 130s, and I don't think the Bulls got into the 100s. So I think they've been over 30 points, not quite 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hell yeah. Pistons looking good. They have a 6 seed right now, so they're actually like minus 305 to make the playoffs. Crazy times right now. So hopefully they keep pushing hard. And shout out to Dennis Schroeder, new Detroit Piston. Let's keep cooking. Let's shout out Michigan hockey beating the best team in all of college hockey, Michigan State. They're the greatest thing to ever come to college hockey. They're going to win the Big Ten. They're going to win the regional. They're going to win probably the national title. So just shout for Michigan, just winning the game on the road at Mont Ice Arena. It takes a really gutsy team that just knows how to win and cares about their teammates and really just is a team that everyone can root for, not just, a team that's out there just the best. So, gets older kids to stay around and recruits Russians. Shout out to Michigan State for doing that. But congrats, so they're going to be the best team in all of college hockey ever. But shout out to Michigan for doing things by beating them. So pretty incredible win by Michigan Wolverines. And I think that was the only game they played this weekend. So that was pretty cool. Max, today's February 12th. What happened today? In baseball.
Oh, you're spot on. I have in my notes the Tigers are so back. Pitchers and catchers reported today for the Detroit Tigers. It got me fired up. I saw a little 3-second, 5-second video of Scoobs on the mound chucking it. Got real excited. Jack Flaherty's back. Jake Rogers' mustache is looking in midseason form already. Shout out to him. He just got engaged yesterday. So things are looking up for the Tigers. Besides, did you see the latest news? Their guy, Alex Cobb, is unlikely to be ready in April. He's got some hip inflammation. He's a little older. So hopefully they figure that one out.
Nah, I don't care. They didn't think they were going to have Jack Flaherty when they signed him, and that just means maybe the young bull, what's his name, within the playoffs, will have a chance to come up.
Jackson Joe?
Yes. So I don't really give a shit about that one. Alex Cobb. More news. The other Alex is what I care about more. Hopefully, Alex Bregman is soon a Tiger. 52 of 1 days till opening day. So it's about 40 some days till the start of regular season for the Tigers. So that means it's about 29, 30 days till the start of the regular season for baseball in Tokyo, Japan, between the Dodgers and Cubs. Max, what else do you have?
Did you hear the latest news? It's coming to the big house.
Yeah, you like a little John Mayer and some rednecks?
Yeah, so it's a weird combo. It's a weird combo for the first ever concert at the big house. I don't know what kind of clientele they're after there. Maybe like the gospel girls of Ann Arbor and then the town over, Howell, Michigan, those kind of people come down. I guess that's what they're after for the big house. Yep. What's happening at the big house though, Dylan?
I saw. Our guy Clayton tweeted about it. 2 games where I've shout out to Clayton. So shout out to Clayton again, a GHLer, who covers Michigan basketball. He's in the, he's kind of just battling, and he tweeted about it. So he's just doing it all. So shout out to Clayton. Do you know what it's like to be an Ohio State football fan? You're a national champion, they say. They claim they're a national champion. But do you know the last time they beat a team from that place up north?
Oh shit. Gotta be close to encompassing like 1,800 days.
1,902 days when this airs. So tough for that. You know what's even tougher?
Yeah, the joke that like Michigan say shit runs south. Shit literally running south, baby. Who's going to Ohio State now, Dylan?
Fat fuck Matt Patricia. Enjoy Ohio. Enjoy Matt Patricia. Yeah,
Oh,
you literally will have now Michigan State fans rooting against Ohio State for that pure reason because they're big Lions fans. Nobody who at any point in their life cheered for the Lions likes anything about Matt Patricia. Ohio, you just done screwed up. Horrible hire.
Matt Patricia drove the Lions into the darkest depths for like 3 years. And Dan Campbell kind of saved them. So good luck, Ohio State. He's going to do the same. That Ryan Day, I guess, just wants to get fired. I guess he's like, this is my way out. I hire this guy. I'll use him as a cover up, and I'm out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He kind of looks like he's like a fatter version of Ryan Day. I don't know.
It's crazy you say that 'cause in my notes I get Ohio gets Fat Matt, and that's I knew to talk about. Yeah.
Well done. All right. Anything else?
Uh, nope. That'll be it for me. I mean, I was gonna make fun of Tom Izzo, but he does that himself, so I don't have to go that route.
No, he's the greatest coach ever. That team's amazing. They're so good. Nothing but greatness ahead of them. They've had to win what 4 or 5 national titles. The way they talk about Tom Izzo, don't they say April, February, Izzo, April? Is that what they say?
I don't know. There's so many cool nicknames.
It's got to be something like that. And it must mean he's won like 4 or 5 national titles.
Yeah, he's got to be racking them up. Final 4 appearances left and right too, right?
Yeah, gotta. He just must be demolishing his in-state rivals, killing it. Oh, he's doing none of that and hasn't won a title since 2000. But hey, congrats to them.
Yeah.
They're a really awesome team.
Congrats. I was thinking about this today in my shower. Congrats to Tom Izzo. So he's on pace to go be the Big
You
Ten.
think about Tom Izzo in your shower?
Oh, yeah. Today I was fired up because I woke up to the greatest text ever from my older brother saying that Michigan had sole first place possession in the Big Ten because little brother,
with that text, you knew what must have happened.
yes, little brother lost to Indiana as 11.5-point favorite at home when Tom Izzo has a big game in front of him to become the all-time leading Big Ten coach, and he can't even do that.
Craziest part about it is it would have been against the team whose head coach, Bob Knight, in Indiana.
Yeah.
He could have done it against his former team, and he couldn't do it. So that's all right. Michigan State's the best. They're the best thing since sliced bread. That's the best coach you could ever talk about. He's short, and people love him. That's all we need to say. But let's talk about a different short coach in the Big Ten, Dusty May. Dusty May rubbed these nuts all over everyone else in the Big Ten, and that's gonna get me and me brother me very excited. He's doing a fabulous job, kind of being a puppeteer. Trey Donaldson did not play a ton in that second half yesterday. LJ help me out, Max.
Kason.
Son had a day. He only had 2 points, which were 2 free throws, but he played some great defense, made some right decisions offensively. I don't know. I like the demeanor that Dusty May brings to the Michigan Wolverines. Calm, cool, collected. Quite honestly, the opposite of Tom Izzo and honestly Juwan Howard, which was previously there. So things are looking up for the Michigan Wolverines. Pay that mother lover and make sure he not only stays for February, March, April, but also May.
Nice.
All right. Let's get to Max's Milk Time, presented by Jets. Remember, Jets Pizza. Often imitated, never duplicated. Let's get Jets. All right, Max. 4 questions, 30 seconds, brought to you by Jets. Who is currently favored to win the NBA MVP?
Nikolai Jokic.
No, second. It is Shai Gilchrist Alexander.
Yep.
Is minus 500. Who is the worst and who is the best team in the NBA?
The best is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the worst is going to be Washington Wizards.
Worst is correct. Best by percentage points is incorrect. It is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh.
Same record, 1 less loss. Same amount of wins, 1 less loss.
Asterisks.
So percentage points. All right, who are the worst and best teams in the NHL?
All right. The best is going to be. This is a lot harder. I'm going to go Carolina is the best, and I'm going to go the worst. It's going to be Montreal.
Worst are the Sharks, and the best are the Jets. I've asked that twice, and Jets were best back like a month ago, and they're still there. So impressive.
Fair.
Yeah. All right, last question. Who was the NFL MVP and who was the coach of the year?
Coach of the year was the guy from Minnesota. I can't think of his. It's O'Connor's his last name.
O'Connell, yep.
Yeah, O'Connell. And then what was your question? MVP was Josh Allen.
Correct. Well done. Good job. So that was Max's Milk Time, presented by Jets. Jets Pizza, often imitated, never duplicated. Let's get Jets. All right, let's get to the main segment of episode 1, 2, 3 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. Gentlemen, start your... All right, let's get on with it then. I shall now introduce our special guests of episode 1, 2, 3 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. Gentlemen, start your engines. We have with us, Max, the Rothenbuehler brothers, Mr. Ryan and Reed themselves, 2 stud, oily rockets who practice law, love Detroit sports, and are the proudest Michigan fans I know who reside in the state of Ohio. Ryan and Reed, welcome to Legally Teaching Engineer Sports.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dylan. Glad to be
Reed,
here, sir.
Reed, a recurring guest. Thanks for coming back. Love to have you. Great GHLer. Ryan, first-time guest, the older brother of Reed. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Go Blue.
Absolutely. Go Blue. Max wanted to quickly ask, who had a higher score on their bar exam?
Oh, I failed it the first time.
There
I almost didn't take it the second time. So
I wasn't going to say that. So
he loves to hold that over my head. So that's
he might have beat me on the second one.
Max, yeah. I've seen these guys fight, so I'm excited to see what they have to say about the old NASCAR. All right.
I'm excited to see. I'm ready to dive into this, or should I say, drive into this?
Nice.
Attaboy. Max, let's get it going. We're gonna do some general Q&As about the generalness of NASCAR, but also we're gonna touch on the Daytona 500 because remember Daytona 500 this weekend, 2:30 Fox.
Amen. Good job.
All right, Max. First question. Let it rip.
Yeah. So I'll keep it kind of serious for my first one. Who team or driver? Who's your team or who's your driver? I don't know how to phrase that one. Is that who's your team?
So there's drivers that drive for teams.
Okay.
So like my favorite driver is Ryan Blaney, who drives for Team Penske, who have won the last 3 NASCAR championships.
All right.
His favorite driver drives for Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah, I'll talk to myself. I'll talk for myself. You can do your own.
Go ahead.
No. Max, there's teams and drivers, as he said. My favorite driver is Chase Elliott. He drives for Rick Hendrick. There are many teams, but more drivers, so to speak. So, to answer your question, there are both.
Okay, so could a driver be on the same team as somebody else? There's 2 drivers, 1 team?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. I understand that. Okay. Good stuff. So there's already a budding rivalry between the brothers. 2 different teams, 2 different drivers.
Actually, our 2 drivers are literally best friends.
That's correct.
That's even better.
Yeah.
But they do drive for separate teams, and I will interject. There's also a manufacturer aspect to this, right? Like we're racing cars. So in NASCAR at this moment, there's Ford, which is Reed's team. Team Penske, they all drive Fords.
Okay.
I'm a Team Chevy guy, Chevrolet. Team Hendrick is Chevrolet, and then there's also Toyotas out there. They are like there's not as many Toyotas as Fords and Chevys, but they're catching up. So there's 3 manufacturers on top of also teams, and then you obviously have your 40 to 43 separate drivers.
Okay.
So with that, Ryan, that's very good information. Were you surprised, either of you, that Toyota paced the first practice at the Daytona 500?
No, I was not. And the reason being, Dylan, and I'll maybe default to Reed, we both listen to Sirius XM Channel 90, NASCAR radio quite frequently. So shout out to, Sirius XM. But Toyotas generally do okay in these types of practices because they can't qualify well. And tonight on FS1 is qualifying for the Daytona 500, whereby you're going to see a lot of Chevys and Fords up front, and the Toyotas will be in the back because predominantly they were focusing on Sunday, in my opinion. Reed could probably answer that in his own opinion, but I'm not shocked that a Toyota was good today.
I mean, there were numerous cars. I think there were at least 3 cars. Could be wrong. There were definitely 2 that didn't even practice.
That is correct.
That tells you,
I agree with that. Yeah.
That tells you what practice means to the Daytona 500 on Sunday.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
All
And
right.
honestly, to interject on that, Daytona 500 is different than any other race throughout the season. This is our Super Bowl. So we have a lot more practice. We have a lot more qualifying. Tonight, you're going to see cars on track. Literally, all it's doing is setting the field, is setting the first 2 drivers that start the race on Sunday. And there's a lot of other intricacies to it, but that's basically all it is.
Front row. Yeah.
Front row. We're doing the front row tonight, and that's it.
That's crazy. All right. Well, I have another question, but let's keep going with this. The Super Bowl of your sport, is it odd that the Super Bowl is played at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, it's very odd. I think that's what sets NASCAR apart. I guess I just watch the race. Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's Daytona 500, but obviously Ryan and I never have driven in the Daytona 500 or anything. So I like the end of the year races more than Daytona 500, but that's just me.
It is odd. Yeah, I mean, it is odd, but it's something that goes back to the 1950s. It literally is the world center of racing. They used to race this race half on asphalt. I'm sorry, half on dirt, half on the beach of Daytona Beach itself. And so, they've migrated to an actual racetrack now, but it is, there's some nostalgia there.
Nice. I like that. Max, go ahead.
So my next question, keeping it kind of serious, get our GHLers some background here. How does the point system work? Is it like one takes home 20 and then you just file down 20 gets 1 point?
Yeah, and before they answer, Max, this is related to the NASCAR Cup Series, correct?
This is the NASCAR Cup Series, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
keep going then.
There's NASCAR Cup Series, and then there's Xfinity Series, and then there's the Truck Series. They just call it the Truck Series.
Okay.
So like
Think of it-
Truck Series would be like AA.
Right.
Xfinity would be AAA.
Okay.
Cup
Nice.
Series is big time.
Yeah. All right. That
Yeah.
makes so much more sense now. Okay.
Yeah. So like trucks usually race on Friday nights, and then Xfinity's on Saturday afternoon. Cup is on Sunday usually.
Okay. And then
But the points
yeah.
point system, I mean, it's so convoluted. It's kind of like that. So like the first place finisher gets what, Ryan? However many points, but they
Right.
also have stages where they get playoff points where they finish in a stage. So after at Daytona, I think it's 200 lap race. I think it's 50, 50, and 100.
Probably.
Something like that. So it'd be a 50 lap stage, and then the last stage is 100, and they award playoff points to the top 10 in each stage.
Okay.
The first two stages, and then obviously at the end, it's the end of the race.
Yeah. All right.
They've tried to add more emphasis in recent years on winning races, but sometimes that, like, there's intricacies and all that makes it really confusing, and that's one of the things we, on Sirius XM channel 90 we hear about all the time. The points are so confusing. Why is it like that? And then to add to that, there's a playoffs at the end. So the regular season is race 1 through 26, and then race 27 through 36 is the playoffs. And that even gets more confusing at the end, for a regular fan or just an onlooker. It probably can get very confusing. But if you really dive into it, it's fascinating. But that's one of the cons to it, is the point system.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. See, like as I'm gonna call myself an outsider. Outsider looking in. I'll turn it on and see like they'll have updated points on the side. I'm like, yeah, it makes no sense to me. So I feel like they're always changing, and then I'm like, oh, well, there's
Right.
I have no idea.
Right. Oh yeah.
All right.
Max, by the end of this episode, you and I definitely have to come up with our drivers like we do Premier League teams. We should come up with drivers and follow along NASCAR this year.
I don't know why we haven't yet.
DraftKings dailies on Sunday, where you just pick the drivers of like that particular race. Couple bucks on DraftKings, it'll change the way you watch NASCAR. Because you got some scratch in the game, right?
Yeah.
I've bet on many a NASCAR races. I've texted Reed probably 10 to 20 times. Been like, all right,
I don't think it's ever worked.
No, it's not worked once.
It's pretty rare to hit. Like where you pick a winner and they do it.
How many races will there be at the Daytona 500?
After or at the Daytona 500?
That's a fair question. Starting the race.
So the Daytona 500 is a race.
How many racers or race?
Race. Oh, I see. Racers.
Yeah, sorry. I meant like drivers. Sorry, drivers.
I think 40 is there.
40 and maybe 41.
41 can make it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Damn. So yeah, like 1 in 40 shot. Is it crazy for like the 40th person out the back to win potentially or no?
The super speed. So Daytona is what's called a super speedway. So they draft a lot, which means like cars link up and they can really work together. So you could go from 35th to 1st in 4 laps.
Oh wow!
Like
damn.
I mean, that's really pushing it. That doesn't happen often, but you can move up or move back real fast. So it's one of those races where you could throw money on somebody doesn't have a chance really, and they could potentially win the race. That happened 2 years ago with Penske's third driver who hasn't won a championship, Austin Cindric, out of nowhere. His first race in the Cup Series, he wins the Daytona 500.
Pops his cherry on the first one. Love it.
Right.
I mean, he booted Ryan Blaney out of the way to do it, but
he did.
He did win it.
Race favorite driver.
And like, just for the novice out there, like when Reed says drafting, some of the people we always talk about, like imagine you're on the interstate and you get behind a semi and you're driving and your steering wheel kind of like the air changes. Yeah. And so like drafting means when you get a bunch of cars together, they go faster than a single car because they're all breaking through the air together. So the first car is breaking through the air. None of those cars behind them have any air and they're just pushing. And so that's what we mean by super speedway is like there's only two, maybe three tracks on the circuit where you can actually draft like that. And obviously Daytona is one of them. And so Penske is one of those really good drafting teams.
Badass. All right, I like that. Max, all right, let's do 2 or 3 more questions generally about Daytona, and then we'll switch to NASCAR more or so. Let me ask. All right, I'm gonna tune in for Daytona 500 this weekend. I know when it starts. When should I tune in though? Like, I'm not gonna be able to make it for the whole race. So, give me what's the best time if I'm not gonna watch the whole thing to tune in, and then roughly how long will it take? And then what is something I should be keyed in or clued in on watching for specifically? So 3 questions there. We'll start with you, Ryan.
Okay. I would like to say tune in for the whole race because
Okay, gotta say that.
This is our Super Bowl. If you really want something, the last 10 to 15 laps to go at Daytona, you're going to see some fireworks. So that's hard to say what time that will be Eastern time. There's also a possibility for some rain on Sunday, and Daytona is synonymous for rain this time of year, or Florida in general. So whenever you can catch yourself at 15 laps to go, I would tune in to Daytona. Reed, question 2.
Well, one caveat to that, yeah, the rain delay, like I think it's the last 2 years, it's been run on Monday.
Yeah.
So there's a chance it'll get rained out on Sunday, which sucks. But then it's hard to tell when you want to tune in because the last probably 3-4 years, there's been like 13 cars left at the end of the race. So like what we're talking about with the drafting, what also happens then is these guys are going 200 miles an hour around this whole track, and people make one split decision wrong decision, and it could take out 15
Half the
cars.
field, right?
So I mean, you might turn it on with 15 laps to go and think, what the hell? These guys told me there'd be 41 guys here. Well, half of them are already out of the track, ready to go to next week.
Oh my god.
Badass. All right, on that though, what's or 2 questions, I'm sorry. Reed, answer this. How long is the Daytona 500 going to take with no weather delays, roughly?
Probably would get over at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I would think, Ryan.
Okay, so
4
3.5
hours or so.
Yeah, if it goes like no delays, I think green flag is somewhere in the 2:30 to 3 o'clock range. So 6:30 ish.
Okay,
But
badass.
it is one of the longer races of the year.
No, I'm excited. I'm tuning in for the whole thing. And all GHLers who tune in for this episode, tune in for the whole race on Sunday. It's going to be ecstatic. What's one thing we didn't touch on, both of you? So we'll go to Ryan first. What's one thing that, I don't know, like I'm a novice, Max is a novice, Sam's never watched NASCAR really. What's something that we should like be on the lookout for?
Daytona 500 specifically, Dylan?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the spectacle of the Daytona 500. There's only a couple races. We call them the crown jewels in NASCAR. So there's like 4 races a year where they really do the whole like the ambiance. They do the the whole pre-race. Everyone's involved. Like there's a whole spectacle. They'll probably have somebody prominent doing the gentlemen start your engines. They'll have somebody prominent doing the national anthem. Just the spectacle of the Daytona 500. Yeah, somebody prominent waving the green flag. It's the biggest race of the year. I mean, Daytona. You got a Darlington in there, a Charlotte, a Bristol. I mean, those are the 4 big ones in Indianapolis. But it's one of the big ones of the year. It's the biggest of the year. So I would say just the ambiance, the atmosphere is really cool.
I like that. The the spectacle itself. All right,
Yes.
Reed.
I would say if you don't really know anything about NASCAR, tune in and think to yourself, like put yourself in a driver's shoes. Because I think a lot of people watch and they're like, it's got to be easy. Well, these dudes are going, like we've talked about, 202 mile an hour, and they're this close, and they're touching. So they touch a little bit, and then you can see them get a little squirrely, like they're going to spin. And I can't imagine that, even being on like 75. You're going, up north, you get past Saginaw, whatever, you're going 85 mile an hour. And I get scared doing that. These dudes are doing 202.
Yeah.
They're strapped in the vehicle better than us, but
Reckless speed. Pay attention and take respect. I like that. Max.
Yeah, all of my NASCAR and Compass Daytona questions have been answered within the umbrella. So I'm gonna ask some off the cusp ones. Well, not off the cusp, but it's like my first one, because I've thought about this and I know maybe a little bit more than GHLers, but how does one even get into be in the NASCAR? Like be the driver? How I know hockey, you go through juniors, you go to college, drafted.
same
NASCAR.
way.
Yeah, same way.
Okay.
So like where I live here in Gibsonburg, Ohio, there's a speedway, Fremont Speedway, right 15 minutes away. And there's sprint car, they're called sprint cars, but it's a dirt track. So some guys come through dirt track, like they're really good there, and then they end up getting picked up by one of these teams. There's World of Outlaws where I think is it all dirt, Ryan?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Generally.
So they all compete in that, and that's one of their tracks they come to every now and again. So they'll get noticed there if they're. And then another way is like Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney like Ryan Blaney's dad, his grandfather, all of them raced.
Yeah.
So he was born.
Right.
What's he gonna do?
Ryan Blaney's dad was called the Buckeye Bullet. So he was a sprint car driver down in Ohio and everywhere, Sharon Speedway, Eldora, Fremont, Attica. And so it's the same way, Max. You start low. And I'm not saying dirt racing is low, but like you start in midgets or go-karts and you work your way up, and if you're good enough, somebody will pay you enough to keep moving up.
Hey, there's always somebody watching.
There's a lot of dirt track guys that's like that's all they want to do. They want to stay racing dirt tracks around little speedways like I call it little, but it's a huge speedway over here. It's just little compared to NASCAR tracks.
I like that. So we got a Whittemore Speedway 15 minutes from us. Max, you done screwed up by not going over there and getting after it. You also screwed up by not having a little nepotism, it sounds like, which is the rest of sports.
What's your speedway close to you?
Whittemore Speedway. Sorry, I got into an accent there quick. Not racist. All right, Max, that was a good question. Let's keep going. Danica Patrick.
What do you want me to say?
That's all. Just Danica Patrick, maybe question mark.
Is my wife watching?
What's that?
Is my wife watching?
Yeah, she was a talented race car driver. She drove for IndyCar, which is open wheel. She came to NASCAR. She didn't finish in the top 20, and then she left, and now she's doing fitness products.
Yep, she's looking slimmer. I've seen. I hit her with the Google image today. So also, by the way, she got gentlemen start your engines changed to drivers.
That is true.
I don't have any. I don't have drive.
Yeah, she can drive.
Females can drive.
She won. I think. Fun fact. I think she sat on the pole for the Daytona 500 once.
She did.
Yeah.
Dylan, that's a great segue to my next question. So my next question is ass crack ratio to cleavage ratio. What's more?
For who?
Well, I'm asking, is there more cleavage?
You go to a NASCAR race. What do you see more of? Titties or butt cracks?
For what gender?
That's a fair question. I was both. Yeah, we'll do both.
Well,
Combined.
There's a lot of interesting humans that come to NASCAR races. Part of the appeal, I will say, is the people watching.
Okay.
You get your yeah. Yeah, it's a good time. I mean,
I like that. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
All right, with that,
What would you say, Reed?
Reed, you answer this next one. Hold on. Where would you recommend your first NASCAR race being at?
Well, in fairness, I've only been to Michigan and Charlotte, so I can't give you a great answer on that. I would probably say Bristol.
Okay.
Ryan's been there.
I'd say Bristol. I have been to Bristol.
Bristol's like a coliseum, so I mean these guys are running on a short track in front of you, and they have a night race there, and I'm guessing the night race at Bristol is probably one of the coolest sporting events.
I would agree with that. Reed decided to have some children earlier than I did, and so I've been able to go some places that my awesome brother has not been able to go at times. But Bristol is cool. You guys will also like this. Bristol's Reed, what is it? Cincinnati and Atlanta baseball game there this year.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're playing a baseball game inside Bristol.
I forgot that was
really cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Reed took me to Charlotte for my bachelor party. Charlotte's one of the good ones. If you can go to the Coke 600, that's a really fun one. But if you have to go anywhere, I would say Bristol. It's like
if you go to the Coke 600, do not stay in a tent.
No, do not.
It's going to be about 101 degrees.
Yeah. Memorial Day weekend is not cold in Charlotte.
Radio check that. Love that. Max, go ahead.
Yeah. So speaking of tracks, so if I'm purchasing my ticket, where's the best seat on the track? Like, where do I want to sit?
Doesn't matter.
No. You're going to be so blown away. Go ahead, Reed.
You probably want to be close, like if it's your first time, be close to the start-finish line. But, okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
No bad.
I mean, you're going to have good views because they're just going around track. So,
yeah.
One of the cool thing or the odd things about that is NASCAR tracks is like it's better to be up high though, especially if you're at a bigger track because you can see all the way around the track. If you're really close, you're only going to see like what's right in front of you, left and right. You're not going to see what's like on the back stretch, so to speak.
Good question, Max.
Yep. Great question.
You guys are killing this. I'll be honest. Ryan is coming off as so much more well-spoken than I ever saw during law school. I don't know what that means, if he's like grown with time or if maybe this is his passion and he's just so excited about it that he's very well spoken about it. But Ryan, I'm very impressed. Reed,
yeah, Dylan, same to you.
No, I'm pretty. Oh, thank you.
I'm just saying, like we had some times in law school, and you sound.
That's probably true on both sides there.
That's probably true. Let's get to the real meat and potatoes that people want to know. What are 3 smells that you guys correlate with race day?
Where do you get these questions?
The left part of my brain. Reed, go first.
I would say the gasoline.
Ooh.
I would say beer.
Beer.
Yeah, and then burnt rubber. I mean, you get
rubber,
chunks.
beer.
And then a close third is body odor.
I was thinking like cut grass because of the infields.
No,
you don't smell that at all.
Oh.
And a lot of the infields are artificial turf now.
It's the rubber smell.
Ryan,
when they wreck through there, the cars go
what
flying.
Are your 3, Ryan?
Reed's right. You guys won't believe this, but the reason they're trying to get grass out of these racetracks is because when a car starts flipping, the tires and or the sheet metal will like dig into actual grass, and they'll keep flipping. But on turf, it doesn't like dig in, so they stop flipping sooner. Yeah, crazy.
Makes sense, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with Reed. Fuel. I was gonna say rubber, and then depending on if it's like the summer, like MIS in August, you're gonna have some body odor.
that makes sense.
MIS is Michigan International Speedway.
I've never been.
You should
Yeah,
go.
I would like to go. Max, we
Yeah.
should. When is MIS?
June this year.
Yep, June. We'll see you there.
Yep.
It might have to be.
I might have an extra ticket.
Might have to be an event for us. All right, I like that. Max, go ahead.
All right. One food that's associated with NASCAR. If I'm sitting down in the Daytona 500, what am I cooking?
All right, Max, you want to ask about food, you say, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me give me that question one more time, just to make sure Ryan hears it. And before Ryan answers, let me just make the GHLers aware, the people that are still hanging on by the crisp of their teeth. Reed had to depart. He has an emergency. What is it? He has to get a trisectomy, something with his lower abdomen. So he's going to take care of that. He's a family man. He's going to take care of whatever's going on down south. It's vasectomy. But he's going off air right now. So we've just got Ryan, the older Rothenbuehler, to finish off our episode. He's still here. 123 of Legally Teach Engineer Sports. Gentlemen, start your engines. So Max, back to your question.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm sitting there for 4 hours, I'm going to need to munch on something. So what's something that is associated with NASCAR? Like football, I'm thinking like wings. NASCAR, what's a NASCAR something?
Loaded question. I'll take it in two parts here. First of all, NASCAR is like college football. You can tailgate. You can do everything you want outside. NASCAR also has free parking. You go to the big house, $50, $60 maybe.
Yeah.
You go to MIS,
$100.
$100 where Dylan parks up in the VIP. You go to MIS, free parking. So you can bring your little, whatever you do, your stove, your smoker, you can do whatever you want out in the tailgate section. So here's the kicker. You go into NASCAR, you're a lot of cooler. So you can put your 27 bush lights and then a little area for your carrots and your sunflower seeds and whatever you cooked outside. And as long as it fits through the Max, when you go like this, that's funny. It's real. Like they let you bring your own cooler in. So you can bring all your beers, you can bring your snacks, you can bring your subs. A lot of people get really smart and they get all their food before they come into the track. So you can do whatever you want. If you want to go into the track and get some food, they do offer really good. Like MIS has a lot of Motor City like barbecue stuff. Down in Charlotte, they had something called a barbecue Sunday where it was mashed potatoes, brisket, and they were cooking it right in front of you. So basically, you can do whatever you want. A lot of chicken wings. If it's a 1 o'clock race and you want to tailgate, probably some eggs, a little eggs and bacon. Just like your normal college football Saturday.
That's electric about the cooler. That is something I'm writing down because I did not know that.
You can bring your own beers in.
Yes.
All right, we gotta go. We're going to MIS.
Yes.
We're gonna be in Brooklyn, Michigan this year. Whatever, we'll be there.
So there's a couple. It is. I do have to tell you, there's a couple caveats to that. If you go to NASCAR is going to Mexico City this year. They also go to the Chicago Street Course. So if you go to one of those off events, then you may not be able to take your cooler. Yes, Dylan.
Question: are there a lot of Mexicans who like NASCAR?
Daniel Suarez, he's our mi amigo.
I saw his name on the list.
Yeah, he's our mi amigo. He's very he drives for Trackhouse Racing, number 99.
Okay. So let's stop you there. So let's just go. Max, Brian, let's take you on a drive down to Mexico City, around the great country of Mexico.
Never been.
Fidel Castro is not Mexican.
I think that's the wrong country.
Do we imagine NASCAR as a Mexican thing?
So NASCAR's kind of doing the same thing that like the NFL is trying to
NFL.
do, right? Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to NASCAR has historically run up in Montreal for a while. That stopped in COVID. There's a racetrack in Montreal where they'd send one of their like AAA or AA divisions up there to race. They also go up to Portland, Oregon, like really close up to the border. If you've ever been to MIS, I would say 25% of the fan population is Canadian. I would say that.
Wow.
Canadians, I camped there one year, camped there for the whole weekend, and boy, those Canadians can drink. They can drink a lot
So,
of beer.
Professor
And
Chafee would like to chime in. Did you answer my question?
I don't think I answered your question.
No, I don't think so either.
What was
So
your
the
question?
answer would be the answer would have been generally no. It's a non-move, but the NASCAR is trying to move south with our amigos just because the
Right,
NFL.
but they also do have his name is Daniel Suarez, who did come. He was born in Monterrey, Mexico, and there's a huge. So a couple of years ago, from 21 to 23, they did their opening year event in Southern California, Los Angeles, and I would say probably half that they did it at the LA Coliseum, and it was
Oh,
mostly
that's right. I watched
yeah.
that.
Yeah, there was a lot of Latino population there, and a lot of it was based on like Pitbull. Pitbull owns half owns Trackhouse Racing.
Sweet.
Pitbull is a Latino of descent, and Daniel Suarez is he when he came to America, he couldn't speak English, but he came to North Carolina because he was a really good racer in Mexico.
Does
And
Ice know? Does Ice know where he is right now?
yeah, they did 2 years ago. He passed his
Oh,
citizenship thing.
okay.
Yeah, so he's good.
Yeah.
Um, but
Hmm.
his family up here, they're all gone.
All right, so back to the coolers. I just looked up MIS's fan bag. We're all allowed one soft side cooler per person. So
Okay. All
Off
right.
the,
Love that.
it's
All
not.
right.
Yeah, it has to have the parameters though. But I'll
14
tell
by
you,
14 by 14.
yeah, if you have a backpack cooler, you can fit like 30 bush lights in those, and so you get four bros to go to a NASCAR race. You're sitting pretty.
Excited. But just make sure you text us the weekend. We're then. Okay.
Yeah, I
Max
only have
asked
one ticket.
Max asked about food. We'll buy our own. We're coming.
I have one. I have one more ticket.
What is the
Reed's
go-to
going.
what is the go-to outfit for a NASCAR event?
Um,
Yeah, just generally. Go ahead.
comfortable. I would say.
Shorts.
No, no. Just yeah. I mean, you're going to see some people in jorts. You're going to see some interesting outfits, but no, comfortable. Whatever's comfortable. It also
Wife
depends.
beater.
No,
Okay.
no.
We're breaking barriers, Max.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so. I think you should go out to the haulers and buy something and then wear that. It also depends, Dylan. So Charlotte is a night race. It
Okay.
starts in the day, but
Flannel.
yeah, flannel, because you're gonna get cold. I mean, it might be 105 in the day, but it's gonna get really cold. If you go to Michigan in those metal bleachers and there's no overhang, you're gonna bake there. So sunscreen, wife beaters, maybe some umbrellas. Don't bring umbrellas. You're not allowed to bring umbrellas, but
All right. So, but I was asking because Reed was wearing. We didn't get to ask him. He got off. He was wearing a pretty sweet shirt.
he
Like,
was.
is that common to see like you wearing your favorite drivers like gear or like
Oh,
if
absolutely.
not
Yeah.
absolutely common, then where can you get that stuff? Fanatics?
Yeah, Fanatics. The drivers don't make a lot of money off that, which is a whole nother deal. But yeah, I mean, you can always go to your driver's website. You can go to NASCAR.com. Like, how NFL is like shop.nfl.com.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of the same thing, like NASCAR shop.com or something. You can also go to your favorite driver's website and see if they like this is straight up Chase Elliott. This goes right to him. Sorry, I don't know if you can see it, but doesn't go through the whole Fanatics thing. This just goes, right to him. You can also go to your local NASCAR track and visit one of the haulers, which is part of the fun.
What the? All right, good stuff. Max?
uh, I'm fired up for June. I think I'm going to visit all the haulers. I'm going to get my gear. I'm going to pick a driver tonight. I'm going to ride with him all season. It'll be about the halfway point when we get to see him at MIS, and I'm excited. So my next question, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off here. Who's going to win the Daytona 500, Ryan?
You know what? If I knew that, I'd be a rich man, Max.
All
And the
right.
Daytona 500 is one of those where you could pick one on the board.
Who do you want to win?
Let me hold on. Let's wait on that because I know who he wants to win. He wants Chase Elliott to win.
It's true.
He's plus 1,300, same as Ryan Blaney. But why is Chase Elliott a good bet at plus 1,300? And then who are you going to bet else? So let's dig into that.
Hey, as Reed, my brother indicated earlier, this is one of those crapshoot races where there's a lot of drafting, and one little thing can go wrong, and it may not be your fault. It could be your fault. Most of the time, it's not. It could end up with only 13 cars at the end of the race. That's what makes the Daytona 500 like one of those big, like you're always going to see like a lot of plus numbers on your DraftKings or FanDuel because nobody knows who's going to win this race. I would like Chase Elliott to win. I will admit, Ryan Blaney is a really good. Joey Logano is a good pick. Denny Hamlin has won 3 of these. He's a Toyota. He's number 11. He's probably the favorite. I haven't looked at them recently. I did it like 4 hours ago, but yeah, he's probably the favorite. Or no, he's not. He's one of the favorites. Kyle Busch in the 8 car, a really good pick. But if you're going deep, if you want a sleeper, Dylan, to answer your question, so Reed said earlier, Noah Gregson in the 4 car. He's in a new team. He's had a little checkered past. He said some things on Instagram that didn't go great. So he got sat down for a year or two. So he's back. He's a really good race car driver, and he tells it how it is. Noah Gregson right now is where is he at? I got a plus 4,500 on him. And then Shane Van Gisbergen from Australia. First full year in the Cup Series. Australia has something called the Supercars, where it's like their NASCAR version. He's a 6-time champion down there. He's coming up racing for the first full time this year. He's a good sleeper pick. And then my favorite, I think, I got 3. I got Carson Hocevar, I got Justin Haley, and I've got Justin Allgaier. Uh, Justin Haley is Spire Motorsports. Justin Haley, Aspire Motorsports. Also Carson Hocevar. And then Justin Allgaier. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dale Earnhardt, but his son owns something called Junior Motorsports along with his sister, and this is their first ever entry into the Daytona 500. They're usually in the AAA, if you will, the Xfinity Series, and this is their first ever entry into the Daytona 500. Justin Allgaier in the 40 car, the Traveler whiskey, sponsored by Chris Stapleton. So that's one of my that I'm gonna put some money on that.
There's a lot of things going for that driver there, Justin Allgaier. There's a lot of good things popping up right there. So.
Whiskey, country music, Dale Earnhardt, and boobs.
Amen.
Allgaier. I'm in.
Allgaier.
All right, good stuff. Max, I think it's just kind of down to now. Who are we going to ride with for the?
Well, I have one more question. So that was just for the Daytona 500.
Understood.
Who is going to, or who would you like? Who's going to? I don't know how you want me to phrase this. Win the Cup Series.
So this is going to be a Homer question or a Homer answer. Chase Elliott's going to win the 2025 Cup Series championship. He won it in 2020. Didn't get to really celebrate it because it was the COVID year.
Okay.
There wasn't many people in the stands. So Chase Elliott is going to win this year's Cup Series championship. He's going to win on Sunday too.
So he's the Lakers of NASCAR, eh?
No, not really. That's like Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson is like the best driver, but Chase Elliott is the
We should make Sam take Kyle Larson, Sam or Max. Sam gets Kyle Larson for his driver this year.
He'll like it. I mean, he's good. So Kyle Larson, I don't know how R-rated this
Go
podcast
for it.
is.
Go for it.
Kyle Larson only races for Hendrick Motorsports these days because he was during COVID, he was playing online, and he dropped the hard N word, and
Oh.
people were listening.
Nepotism?
Yes, and he got suspended for a whole year.
That's crazy. I mean, as you should if you're going to say
Yes.
nepotism live on the air
Absolutely.
with a hard R.
He didn't know he was on Twitch, I think it was, but he was, and so then they fired him from his current team. He took a whole year off and then got hired to Hendrick Motorsports a year later.
Yep, that's Sam's guy, Kyle Larson. Max, I'm going with Bill Byron for the year. William Byron, honestly, no reason. Just seems to be in the top 5 usually. Ryan's shaking his head, which means it's a great pick. I'm riding with Willie Byron.
I grew up a Jeff Gordon fan, the old 24 with the flames. Oh, great pick, Dylan.
Thank you. Bill Byron.
You know, you're putting me on the spot here with the picks. I'm a guy that can't do that. I like to do my research.
Pick Suarez.
No, I'm gonna do some research and I'll give you my pick next week on the podcast. I'll hold you.
You know what, Max? That's the smartest thing I think I've heard you say. Don't do this. Do some research and pick your driver.
Yeah, this is all new to me. I'm a novice here. I'm gonna dig into it. This is exciting stuff.
We'll see you in Brooklyn.
Let's get it going. All right, last question. One more question for each of us. This question's brought to you by Jets Pizza. Remember, Jets Pizza often imitated, never duplicated. Let's get Jets. Ryan, do NASCAR drivers ever turn right?
They do. Several times a year.
Holy.
It's called road courses.
He just said they're going to Chicago.
Right. Was that like the walk-off?
No, not at all. Max has one.
Oh, good. Yeah, Dylan. They turn right like 6 times a year. Yeah. And also in their personal cars, probably.
That was what I was looking for, but I love it. Shit. Okay, Max, hit us with the last Jets Pizza question. Jets Pizza often imitated, never duplicated.
We have Jets and Bowling Green too. Get it like twice a month.
Love that.
Have you ever had the chance to drive or sit in a NASCAR?
I have not, Max.
Okay.
Nope. I sat in a sprint car once.
All right.
I was like 8 years old.
How much would you pay to do said things, Ryan?
I wouldn't. I'm I'm a larger guy. I don't know that I'd get out. And I'm pretty fun. I'm pretty happy just being a spectator. My brother and I, the bald guy earlier, we're gonna once we get a little green in our pockets, we're gonna have a sprint car team over in Fremont. So
Hey,
really?
we got racing in our blood, baby.
that's sweet.
Can we lock it in right now? Legally teaching engineer sports. Patch on the ass.
LTES, yeah.
Right. Only on the
I'm a
ass.
sticker on the bumper, so every driver they're whooping the ass.
No.
Read it.
The driver's ass, Max. No one will ever see us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put it on on the top or something on one of those cars. Yeah.
Just straight up the driver's butt. Like
Yeah.
literally the suit he wears, like the butt. All right, we're in. $15 for that.
No, that's probably gonna be like 75-50.
Still wear. All right. Well, Ryan, your brother Reed's already off, and honestly, great having you on. This is one of the best interview questionnaires we've ever done. NASCAR, Max and I, and Sam will be getting into NASCAR this year. Can't wait. All the GHLers should tune in, get into the NASCAR because it's coming after you, right, Max?
Coming at you fast.
Coming at you fast.
Coming at you
All right.
fast.
Coming at you fast. All right, that's all for episode 123 of Legally Teaching Engineer Sports. Gentlemen, start our quotes from Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton Jr. If you ain't first, you're last. And I like to pitch Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says I want to be formal, but I'm here to party. Shout out to all GHLs.